I'm Katie Bavard, and welcome to Podcast Salad, the video podcast about video podcasting. It's Friday, July 14th, and it's time for some Podcast Salad. Big news shook the video podcasting world last week when Rocketboom host Amanda Congdon announced that she will no longer be on the show.
So here I am on Unboomed, as I apparently have been unboomed. Apparently my partner, Andrew Barron, is no longer interested in being my partner. And since he owns 51% of Rocketboom and I own 49% of Rocketboom, that's just something I'm going to kind of have to live with.
The rest of the week brought more news, gossip, and conflicting stories from members of Rocketboom and the community. Amanda says she was fired from the show, but producer Andrew Barron claims that she simply left on her own. Reports are that Amanda has signed with a Hollywood talent agent and is looking to move to LA. Barron has said that the show will go on with the new host, Joanne Colan, former MTV Europe VJ.
All right, let's jump straight in. In today's top story, Joanne Colan serves as interim host for Rocketboom 2.0 beta. It's also a big day for Kyle McDonald, who's finally traded his way all the way up to a house from a red paperclip.
And we'll be watching for what Amanda does next as well. In other video podcasting news, Ask a Ninja had 2 new episodes last week, each with advertising. Episode 23 featured an ad for the movie Little Man, and the Ninja Special Delivery movie review has a streaming ad from Rever.com at the end. So, it looks like video podcast commercials are finally here.
This is Captain Scurvy from Captain Scurvy's Pirate Jokes. You're watching Podcast Salad.
Comedy troupe Secret Pants tried to adopt a baby this week, but had to settle for something else.
There's no way, morally, ethically, that we could ever justify allowing you folks to adopt a child. There is, however, one thing I can offer you, if you're interested.
So, did we get it?
Yeah, we adopted something.
Cartoonist Kyle Baker from Mad Magazine and various television shows has an animated podcast with short, autobiographical family cartoons. Grunt Media produces a series of podcasts about various topics. Their latest show is about podcasting. So, if you ever wanted to learn how to make one of these yourself, check it out.
Let's say there's this guy named Joe, and he has this idea for a weekly show about marmalade, because he likes it. And he decides to call it The Joe Show. In his home studio, Joe records 2 initial episodes to get started. With these 2, he feels ready to go public and launch The Joe Show podcast. To do this, he signs up with Acme Web Hosting and uploads his first 2 episode files. And because he's creating a podcast, a special file is also created that keeps a running tab on the episodes and contains basic information about the Joe Show podcast itself. We'll talk more about this file down the road, but for today, let's call it the control file. Now, let's say you've got a penchant for marmalade yourself, and you've heard about the Joe Show from a friend. From your computer, you launch a podcatcher application like iTunes and ask it to subscribe to The Joe Show.
Be sure to check out the new podcastsalad.com website. We've created a searchable directory of video podcasts with more than 1,000 shows and tens of thousands of episodes. You can find links to shows we've mentioned here or look for shows that you may like. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching Podcast Salad. So you can go from being the host of a video podcast to Hollywood? Can you get my agent on the phone? Hey, Rocketboom. I would have tried out myself, but I just can't get the hair flip down.